Numbers Don't Lie TV. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and let's get right into this vibe. 100.
And it was hard to get to know us. Even with Muhammad Ali, he talked a lot, but you didn't really know him. No one really knew him. Joe Frazier, no one knew him, nor I. We were just some characters out of, I don't know, cartoon world or something.
March 21st, 2025, former two-time heavyweight champion George Foreman passes away at the age of 76. 30, 42, 59, and 76. Those numbers are very relevant to Black history, or should I say so-called Black history. For starters though, before I get into the details of the video, George Foreman was one of my top 5 boxers of all time. I even got a lot of merchandise of George Foreman's. He was one of the grill, for starters. Who didn't have the George Foreman grill? George Foreman was a powerful puncher. He was a bone crusher. He can also take punches, even though he was a slow puncher. As he got older, he got a lot slower. He still had sharp precision. His fight against Ron Lau probably was one of his best fights I've seen him have in his career. It was a classic. I still watch that fight today. He's the only boxer I've seen literally punch holes in a punching bag. He used to just throw hooks. You know, you're talking 20 hooks in a row. And George Foreman had natural strength. So imagine what he was doing to somebody's face. But that fight between him and Michael Moore I was 10 years old. So that was the most unbelievable fight I had seen in my life at that time. Because I just couldn't imagine a guy that was out of his prime, or at least, you know, on and off, he looked like he was out of his prime in his 40s. And still be able to become a 2-time heavyweight champion at that age, being the oldest to do it in the way he did it. You know, it can't take nothing away from Michael Moore. Michael Moore used to he had a nice right jab. And he had also been knocked down quite a few times prior to fighting George Foreman. So it was something that was unbelievable at that time for me, a part of boxing history. When it comes to George Foreman, he just was a genuine puncher. And of course, his fight against Muhammad Ali was a classic. Lastly, before we get into the video, his fight against Joe Frazier, I mean, he literally knocked Joe Frazier off his feet. I just wanted to mention that. I mean, salute to Joe Frazier, though, you know, because he was a beast. But he knocked Joe Frazier off his feet. That's how powerful his punches were. Seeing him, you know, I heard clips of Holyfield saying how hard George Foreman hit. And Mike Tyson and different guys really giving George Foreman his credit. So salute to him. Rest in peace to Big George. Now, this is where we get into the meat and potatoes of the video. I want to talk about George Foreman being a blood sacrifice and him losing his life all by the numbers. My content focused on exposing the programs that are used to keep the masses under mind control while shedding light on the diabolical agendas of the dominant society. Today I'll be using Gematria, which is a Kabbalistic practice of assigning a number to every letter, essentially encoding numerical values within words, letters, and phrases. This code is used religiously by the mainstream media as well to deceive the masses on a regular, everyday basis. In Gematria, there are many numbers. The dominant society, which is the Jesuits who control everything, it's many numbers they use for many things. But when it comes to the created, made up, designed, manipulated world of Black history, they predominantly use 3 numbers to connect to Black people, preferably Black entertainers. Number 30, number 42, number 59, and number 76. So remember those numbers mainly, because those are the main numbers I'll be using in this video. Even though when you're decoding and using Gematria, they got many other numbers that connect with many other words, because the language we're speaking is a cursed language. So basically, this is like a blood sacrifice number ritual type of reality these entertainers are living. Everything they do is ritualistic and symbolic. Even the things we participate in are ritualistic and symbolic. They tell you George Foreman dies at the age of 76. But they won't tell you the cause of his death. But they'll tell you his age, right? He was 76 years old, and he just so happened to have 76 career wins when Slave, Blues, Rasta, Negro, and even Skull and Bones equaling 76. This was actually a Skull and Bones ritual, family. He was 76 years old when he passed, with 76 career wins, and he had 5 losses. So that's 81 total fights in his career. He passes away on March 21st, which is one day before Skull and Bones Day, which is 3/22, March 22nd. Skull and Bones, 3/22, Brotherhood of Death, Yale University. This is how you know all sports is scripted and rigged. These entertainers' careers are scripted. So the fights got to be scripted. Tell me why the next day on 3/22, the 8th seed Gonzaga loses to the 1 seed Houston. We talking college basketball. We going right to March Madness, because March Madness connects with George Foreman passing away. Now check this out. On 3/22, the 8th seed Gonzaga loses to the 1 seed Houston. Where is George Foreman from? He's from Houston, right? And Gonzaga just so happened to be the 8th seed versus the 1 seed, 81. And George Foreman had 81 fights in his career. The score 81-76. 81 fights total, 76 wins. Crazy. So you got the 8 seed versus the 1 seed, 81 again, with a score of 81-76. And George Foreman is from Houston, who retired with 81 fights, winning 76 of them. And Mark of the Beast equals 81. And you know, when I be seeing rituals that play out like this, I always go in the stats. And y'all can let me know in the comment section if I'm tripping on this part. LJ Cryer for the Houston, I don't know they mascot team name, but Houston just so happened to match a career high with 30 points that night. 30 points from LJ Cryer. Don't let that fly over your head. Now, you see how they got to tell you, including free throws with 14.2 seconds left. Now, I know it say 14.2, but in my opinion, they just snuck that 42 in there. Forget that 1 on that 14.2 seconds. They snuck that 42 in there to let you know 30 and 42 got to connect. Like all the rest of the 30s and 42s and 59s and 76s. So They're purposely showing the numbers. Every day, there's one ritual after another. It goes from boxing to basketball, college basketball, to baseball. Then it goes to something that's all the way across the country. Once you see it, the domino effect from it is just it's kind of like a slap in the face. I can't see how other people don't really see this, but many people do. But they're all connected though. These rituals that happen back to back, they're all connected by the numbers. There are many black entertainers that have died at the age of 76. Carl Weathers, the co-star from the Rocky films, he died at 76, just recently. O.J. Simpson died at the age of 76 years old, who real name is Orenthal, which equals 42. And they unalived him 59 days after the Super Bowl last year. That Super Bowl was on February 11th, which is the 42nd day of that year. So you got the 42 even when they unalived OJ. You got the 59 and the 42 again. And there's many more numbers on OJ. I may have to just do a solo video talking about OJ because there's a lot of stuff connected to OJ. Like, just his whole career is just really telling. Now, that Super Bowl also, by the way, was in February, and that equals 42 as well. And that's Black History, quote unquote, so-called Black History Month. Now, February also ends on the 59th day, by the way, except for leap years. Ephesians 6, verse, quote unquote, 5 through 9, 59. Slaves, obey your earthly master with respect and fear, etc. With the alphabet going forward, the word slave equals 59. With the alphabet going in reverse, the word slave equals 76. President Gerald Ford recognized Black History Month in 1976. George Foreman died on March 21st, which is the 71st day of his age. He died in a March Madness ritual, which is 71. He was a boxer, which equals 71. And when he get in the ring, he was boxing. That's 71. Catholic equals 71. So the Society of Jesus equals 71. They are the ones who gave us this cursed, manipulated language. And they sync it to biblical verses, and they keep unaliving these people in Jesuit rituals. And the crazy thing is nobody thinks twice about it. They just say RIP and keep it pushing. He still does have the record for being the oldest heavyweight champion at the age of 45 years old. When the Sun Worshippers, IHS, equals 45. The fight with Michael Moore in 1995 was nothing but a ritual. Ritual equals 81. And that's the total fights that George Foreman had in his career. Now, he also, when you look at ritual, it's 81, 27, 81, 45. Well, 81 fights in George Foreman's career. Michael Moore was 1 week from turning 27 in that fight in 1995 against George Foreman. George Foreman was 45 years old. And that other 81, it can mean many things because these numbers connect so well. But they scored 81 points. Houston, his home team, the college team in March Madness, the next day after he died, scored 81 points to finish the ritual. To Gonzaga 76. And it was an 8 seed versus a 1 seed. So, I mean, this is telling you right here that this is a ritual. 81 also for the mark of the beast. And by the way, if you don't understand what you're looking at, these are four base ciphers of the English language in standard gematria. 81 is in alphabetical order, and that's the green, of course. The other green, 81, is reverse alphabetical order. The blue, number 27, alphabetical order with numerology. And 45 is reverse alphabetical order with numerology. Now, George Foreman had to experience his daughter passing before him, unfortunately. She was 42, quote unquote, years old when she died. When George lost his daughter, it was 59 days after his birthday. So that was a blood sacrifice, and only for him to pass away 6 years after she was sacrificed. And I say that respectfully, man. I know this ain't like an easy thing to just talk about and make it seem so nonchalant. So I just really want to say respectfully. And then you got to also think about it. Big George equal 42. That's the name they called him. Remember the Foreman grill though, right? Just show y'all how all this stuff go together, how they making a fool and a mockery of us as a people. The Foreman grill, they used to have a slogan to help convince you to want to buy the grill. And one of the slogans was for you to understand that the grill was able to reduce 42% in fat when using the George Foreman grill. All mockery. 42% fat. Now, who would have known that in 1994 when they started blowing George Foreman up as an entertainer? Because once again, it's a scripted career. Not saying that him getting punched in the face left and right and him knocking some of them guys out. And I say some of them because some of those knockouts were scripted. Some of those fights were scripted. The truth is, yeah, a lot of those fights, they were getting hit because it's a barbaric sport. So it's a part of the whole agenda. It's for you not to have your full capabilities when you're in your older stage of your life. But you know, you got words like slavery equal 42. Like Jackie Robinson, who wore the number 42, you spell out Jackie, 40, it equals 42. Red Fox equals 30 and 42. Tuskegee, Martin, like Martin Lawrence, who was in apartment 42. Like Martin Luther King, who that, of course, that wasn't his real name. Muhammad Ali equals 42. And that's not his real name, right? Just a scripted history. Malcolm X equals 30 and 42. That's not his real name. Knockouts equals 30. So the whole history's been scripted and given to you, and it's full of manipulation. So, you know, you got to come to a point where you got to stop being a public servant to society. I could say positive things about them, but like going out of my way to really give them the gratification of their career, and they were part of a secret religion that sacrifices people's family members, and man, just all different type of manipulation tactics these people do, man. Just ain't worth it to me. It really ain't. But George Foreman's daughter birthday, which is 10/16, is on the same day as the Million Man March in 1995. Because, you know, there's leap years, I mean. The Million Man March left 76 days in the year. So that means that was on purpose. The Million Man March was a ritual itself, led by a puppet. And I call that puppet controlled opposition. He's a puppet for the puppet masters. And 76 days left in the year is the proof. So, George Foreman's daughter's birthday was on October 16th, which leaves 76 days left in the year. She died at 42 years old, and she died 59 days after George Foreman's birthday. Lastly, before we get up out of here, because this is a pretty lengthy video. George Foreman won a gold medal in the Olympics in 1968, and he finished his career with 68 knockouts. You only can have this many numbers decode together and sync together if it's scripted. That's why I say his career was scripted. It don't mean he still wasn't one of the strongest punchers in boxing. It just means that his career was scripted by the numbers. His life was scripted by the numbers as well. So he won the gold medal in 1968, and he just so happened to retire with 68 knockouts. Now check this out. He lost his daughter on March 9th, which is the 68th day of the year. So he lost his daughter on March 9th, and that's the 68th day of the year, to go along with him winning a gold medal in 1968 and retiring with 68 knockouts. When mathematics equals 68. They used a basketball ritual in this situation, which equals 68. Solar system equals 68, which the sun worshippers came up with all this solar system stuff. But all 9 areas of activity these people dominate in, and I just think it's time to withdraw from it. You know, I don't call myself a fan of anything. Much respect to when I was a fan, much respect to these guys who had great talents and or looked at to have unbelievable talents, and they was able to make millions of dollars off of it. Salute to them. But it doesn't change the fact that they were part of something that was a Luciferian, Babylonian, pagan, Greek, demonic type of religion and society, and if I gotta lose family members and all the little negative things that come with it, I gotta get rituals where they feeding off my energy, just to have some money. I'm cool on that, homie. I'm cool on it. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Let me know in the comment section how y'all feel about George Foreman being sacrificed by the numbers. Hey man, y'all have a great day. All praise to the Most High. Peace out.